Oh, hey, there it is. Live and in charge. It doesn't really rhyme, does it? What's going on tonight, fine folks? It is Saturday night, Memorial Weekend, and I doubt there's going to be anybody come on here tonight. But, we'll see. Well, there's one. My freaking wandering eye. Well, speak up, whoever's out there. Say hello. I need to figure out how to do the picture-in-picture thing so I can do stuff on the computer while you're there. Hey, there's two. But it is. Oh, excuse me. It is Saturday night. Got out there and did some mowing today, and I'm a little crispy on the arms. Hey, what's going on, Purple Border Collie? Usually, Steven's usually the first to chime in there. Hello, hello. Is there anybody in there? Just not if you can hear me. Is there anybody home? Relax. It's just a little pinprick. Anyway, quoting Pink Floyd, one of the greatest bands of all time in my book. That's just me. I like them anyway. I like all sorts of music. Hey, there's a couple of guys that I watch. Well, there's a couple of guys. Corey Wong with the Wong notes. He is pretty funny, and he's a heck of a freaking guitar player. Like watching him. And there's of course, everybody knows who Leo is. At least I would think you would. Leo Mastacholi, I think is his name. He does all the remakes of or cover tunes, and some of them are just hysterical. But then he puts his own twist to it and makes the grunge metal, and it's just badass. Some other bands that I like. In the Moment, that's a good band. They've got a good sound. Red Dragon Cartel, I like those guys. Who's the other one? I probably shouldn't have rubbed my eye. I just made a new batch of rub and dry rub for my London broils I make, and I think I must have had some pepper or something on it. But now my eye is irritated. Oh well, this too shall pass. So, how is everybody faring out there in the world? Everybody getting by? Everybody gonna have a good Memorial weekend? I actually got the weekend off, which is unusual. But hey, I'll take it. I will take it for sure. I think Foxy's trying to be ornery over there. Hey, we've got a couple of likes. Hi, Nicholas. What's going on? What's up, Doc? What's up, Doc? I knew I should have took that left at Albuquerque. Oh, we're getting a few of them in here now. But how's everybody faring? Everybody doing good? I'm not too shabby. Like I said, I've been out on the mower today and I got a little crispy. Tops of my knees are are kind of red. That wouldn't be the Chris Harris from high school, would it? Well, Chris, how did you find me? I just I'm shocked. I'm tickled. I'm fantastic. I'm doing all right. Okay. Sweet. No, I haven't seen if there was any going on. There's a lot of craziness going around here close. I don't know if there's any going around here. I haven't checked into it, but usually there'll be one down in Ocala or something like that. Um, but like I said, as nutty as people are out here, David McClellan from NHRA. No, I did not. I did not. I don't usually watch a whole lot of regular TV. Um, Mainly what I view is just stuff on YouTube because it's uh, more apt to things that I'm interested in. And of course, the fantastic long-time announcer from Liberty, SEMA class of '54. Sweet. Class of '54. That means that more than likely, from what you're getting at, Chris, that he may have passed. Um, I have been to SEMA. That was cool, and I've wanted to go back ever since I went the first time. Hi, Scott. How are you? Thanks for coming in and joining the Saturday Night Madness. Yeah, he passed this week. Yeah, I do follow you, Chris, quite a bit on what you've been doing in Liberty, and of course, taking care of or just following you to make sure you're doing okay with all the all the fun you get to deal with on a daily basis. Um, Pray for you every day, brother. So, anyway, yeah, it seems you get older and you wonder what happens to some of the people that you've known for all this time. Mike, I have not sold it yet. It's still here. I've had it advertised, get a bunch of tire kickers, but that's about as far as it goes. Um, and I don't expect a whole lot, but it has been a while since I made one. In fact, I made one the other night. Just haven't got it edited yet. It's not much, but it's a little one, and I've got another transmission I got to get built. Um, so I'll probably record that. Trying to get a few other things done. Been working to try to find a replacement for our camper that we've got, and I've got an idea of what I want to do, but I'm facing some opposition. So, but yeah, it's been keeping me busy at work. Believe it or not, they've been, people are still getting their stuff fixed. Doc, just about any Hondas are decent as long as they've been taken care of. They're extremely reliable, usually. Um, Sister had a CRV and she loved that thing. Of course, Dad had it when she passed, and I think he traded it in and with his Ridgeline, I think it was, and bought his first pilot. I think it was a 14 pilot. That's not really that bad, Doc. Of course, obviously, you need to make sure that it depends on what engine if it's got a 2.4 liter in it, then it's got a chain. But if it's an earlier one that's got a belt, just make sure the belt's been changed. Timing belt, obviously. But they're great on fuel mileage for sure. My dad, when my dad passed, I inherited his pilot, which is a 16, and it's still got a belt on it on a 3.5, and I really like the thing. It's got quite a bit of get up and go. Um, Gets decent fuel mileage. It'll get 28 or 29 on the highway, somewhere around in there. Well, I don't know. The 4.8's a pretty decent little motor. It's just a little underpowered just because of its displacement. It doesn't have as long a stroke as like a 5.3 or 6 liter, so it's kind of like a 305 versus a 350, same kind of deal. Only I guess that would be like a 290 298 cubic inch, I think is what the 4.8 is. Well, yeah, but look at what it's pulling, Doc. It's in a big old 3/4 ton van. I mean, you can't expect it to get 20 miles to the gallon. Man, those Corolla, yeah, 10,000 pounds of van exactly. So I mean, you can't expect miracles out of that thing. I mean, that's really not that bad, but being as the gas prices are stupid the way they are. And Mike, that '02 Corolla, that's another good little car. I mean, wasn't much to them, and they were reliable too for the most part. You really can't go excuse me, you really can't go wrong with a lot of the Hondas and the Toyotas in the earlier years. They were just good all around cars. Flat 8, 8, and 3 on the tree. Yeah, they don't make many of them anymore. Well, they don't make them anymore, but I mean, you can find a few of them. Let's see. Let's see who this is. There's probably another one asking me if the car's still available. Oh, no. It's Chris sending me a messenger. Oh, speaking of people that passed here recently, what about uh, Lotta or something like that? He was freaking young. I want to say I can't remember what exactly he was. Maybe he was. I don't think he was 67. Maybe 57 or 67. Um, they yeah, 67. Yeah, the actor. Yeah, he passed here this last week. That's crazy. Oh, that's funny. I just happened to pop up there and it showed me on the on my own feed. That's hilarious. I've never seen that before. That's funny. The Jab Man. Yeah, he was a star of the Goodfellas, and man, he was in a lot of freaking shows. Of course, usually he was a villain, but Yeah, he was another good one. Who was that? Oh, it's you again, Chris. Oh, that looks like a custom truck for sure. That thing looks like a beast. I like the custom rear fender flares on it. That's awesome. Yes, sir. Hey, we all were tickled to death with our first cars. Chris, I don't know if you remember that that first car that I drove to high school in was that '69 Bonneville I had. That thing was uglier than sin, big old boat, and I flippin' loved that car. That thing was great. I was so mad when Dad sent it to the scrapper. The only thing that happened to it was um, it overheated and it collapsed the lifter, which wasn't a big deal. I could I ended up putting cam and lifters in it, and head gaskets had the heads checked, and the engine was fine. But he decided to get rid of the car before I could get the engine back in it. Purple Maverick, vaguely, Chris. I mean, that was well the Bonneville I had for that was the first car I started driving, and when I was 18, well, let's see. I guess I drove for a little bit, and then what happened after that? I remember we lost Grandpa about the same time, and I had that '89 Corsica. So, and I think that was like December or January, something like that. Because I remember I had the Corsica for my senior year in high school. So I think I had the Bonneville. Well, we had it a couple years before that, but I drove mom and dad's car for a while, which was that '83 Olds '98. That thing was a boat. Took my driver's test in that car. Ooh, that was terrible. Um, but yeah, mom and dad wanted me to have a reliable car to go to school since I was going to go to school out of state. So that's when they ended up um, helping me get that Corsica. Man, I tell you, somebody that had some hoopties growing up, and that was Tom McCannon. Uh, man, he had some hoopties, but some really cool cars. And he ended up getting a Cutlass, which was awesome. It had a Cutlass with a T tops, and it had the 307 in it originally. He took it out and put a 403 Olds in it, and didn't change the rear end, and that thing was still cool as all get out. I just happened to see a clip come by on my phone that they were some guys built an all-wheel drive Cutlass, and that thing is bad to the bone. Yeah. Well, it didn't help none that what's her nuts bitched about having KCIR down there because she bought a house over on the other side where KCIR had been there for since 1971. It was as old as I am, and because it was too much noise that close to her new house, um, she bitched and they closed the track down. They said they were going to turn it into a park, and it sits vacant because they can't make a park out of it because there's too much pollutants in the ground. Imagine that. Tom McCannon, Chris. I think he went to Kearney, Kearney High School. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. Remember, thinking back to what some of us kids drove. I knew Robbie. I can't remember his last name. Robbie drove this Mazda B 2600 pickup, 4-wheel drive. That thing was pretty cool. Scott Sales, he had a that 69 uh, Chevy pickup. That thing was awesome. That thing was so cool. I don't even know if he still got it, but that thing was cool as all get out. There was another gal, I can't remember her name, that she was hit by a drunk driver. Just beautiful blonde gal. I think she was a year ahead of us, but she had a 72 uh, black Chevy pickup short bed. Lived out east of me, um, off H Highway there, and she had a beautiful black truck. Man, that thing was great. Yeah, Allison Simpson had a Mustang. I remember that. Mike, those I almost got one of those Eurosports. I can't believe if you found one that's actually still intact. The the Eurosports were pretty cool. They made them in 2 doors and 4 doors, and they had the same 2.8 multi-port uh, that I had in that Corsica. And they were a good running car, good driving car. Yeah, Chris, when I come back in town, I usually try to make a habit to go by the old house. And man, ain't nothing the same out there, that's for sure. They sure butchered that house that was just to the west of us, right next door. I mean, that place looks like trash now. Who I don't know. Whoever got it there just destroyed it. I mean, and those big pines that were across the road from my house, the last tornado that was up there, wiped out those pines. That was just beautiful. It's crazy how things change over what 35 years. Yeah, I agree. It's my old one from high school. My buddy's finally selling it. Really? Wow. It's crazy what you can find down here in Florida that's like if something's lived down here in Florida, they're virtually rust-free cars. I mean, it don't matter if it's got a ton of miles on it, it'll be rust-free for the most part. Um, it's kinda like getting something from Arizona. The sun down here just beats the crap out of everything, and, it's really tough on paint for sure. White with red interior. Yeah, I think the one I was looking at was, I think it was blue, and of course, that was the worst color to have in those years because it had so much trouble with the paint adhesion. Um, But another car that I liked back in there was the W cars, um, like the Lumina Euros. Those are a big, comfy car. And if you were lucky enough to get one with that 3.4 twin cam in it, holy crap, did that engine run! Ran real good. You could get those in a Grand Prix SE also, and those were a good looking car. I liked the Grand Prix SEs before they changed them in like the '96. That was like the best looking year they had before they went to the '97. I would love to have one of those again as far as a car. They drove good. Yep. Mike, I actually had a Beretta GTZ. I bought it. Was it GTZ? Yeah, it was GTZ. It had the high output quad 4 in it. I bought it for cheap, and some kid had put these aftermarket steel heavy wheels on it. They were just ridiculous. I found a set of GTU wheels to put back on it. And I found some tires in a salvage yard. Some of them that were like brand new, didn't have hardly any miles on them. Picked them up for like $10 a piece. That's when you could buy stuff cheap. And that car was a lot of fun. Yeah, the pace car edition was pretty cool for sure. The Grand Prix is also coming in pace car edition. Oh, they also had that Grand Prix, like it was 92, maybe 91 or 2, that was turbocharged. Had a turbocharged 3.1 liter in it. And they didn't make very many of them. I don't think they could keep the transmission in it. But pace care. I just seen that. Yeah, yeah, that was one of the that was my white one. Well, it wasn't exactly my white one, but that was what I had, yeah. Yeah, I've had pretty much all the cars that I've got that I've had, I've shown a picture of, like that Z24 that I had, the purple one. I had that one. I had a 90, let's see, had a 98 Z24 that was purple, and then I had a 2001 Z24 that was white. Those are the first new cars that I actually bought. Everything else I've bought was used. If I was smart, I never would have got rid of that Corsica, but I was a kid, and kids do stupid shit. But I I had a chance to pick up an '81 Turbo TA, black with camel tan interior, T-tops, beautiful car, and I traded that for the Corsica straight up, which they ended up getting a better deal, I think. But this freaking Trans Am was beautiful, and I had, ever since I bought it, this kid that I worked with wanted to buy it from me, and like a dumbass, I sold it to him. And I guess um, Chris, you might have known the kid, but I don't remember if you do or not. But um, anyway, he ended up committing suicide in it. He ran the car right into the bridge pillar, and that broke my heart when I heard that. Because that car was beautiful. Oldest I had was 29 Model A Newest was 211 HHR. Yeah, the oldest car that I had, yeah, Chris, I think he was in our class, but I can't remember who it was. It's been so long ago. But Mike, the oldest car I had was that 69 Bonneville. The newest thing that I've had is going to be this 2016 Pilot. And the only reason why I got that, like I said, is I inherited it when I lost my dad. But otherwise, if it wasn't that, the newest I got was the 2002. That was my pickup. Oh, well, unless you want to count the motorcycle. Motorcycle's a 2012. But yeah, I'm kind of wondering what next week's going to run as far as work, because I mean it's starting to slow down pretty good. I think everybody's backing off on fixing things. I've got a Cadillac Escalade at work that needs a whole bunch of work, and I think they're trying to get it sold. I got a Camaro I got a rear end out of. I'm gonna fix that, but I think that's my only 2 tickets that I got right now. What's up, Julio? Just rebuilt my 700. Watching your videos on them, but the problem is it shifts to overdrive after 40 mile an hour and then drops back into third. So I put a TCI kit, still not working. But then drops back to third. Julio, it almost sounds like you got a pressure issue going on there. I would definitely check to make sure that you got your TV cable adjusted right. Shifts into overdrive after 40 mile an hour, but then drops back to third. Man, I'm not sure where to go with that right off the top of my head. I mean, it's kind of hard to diagnose something just by reading something or somebody tells you something unless you actually drive it, especially on some of those older 700s. Could be something simple like a governor spring that's sticking, a governor valve itself, in combination with that TV cable. So those are 2 things that you really need to check. Make sure that your governor gear isn't rounded out to where it's slipping. That's entirely possible. May need to recalibrate the governor. So Sean Hensley. Yes, I remember Sean Hensley. Mike. I didn't do any oil changes. I did a shirt change. So I got done mowing. I was going to have to go to the grocery store today. The wife was out of milk, so she's got to have her milk. So went to the grocery store, and I come back with a carload full of groceries. She looks at me and says, "I'm not sending you to the store anymore." Says, "I've tried to tell you that," because I come back with way more than was on the list. Yeah, I had a couple of really good sales. I like London broils, and they make really good. You can cook them on the grill. I've got a rub that I put on them and marinate them overnight, and then throw them on the grill and sear them on both sides, and then cool the grill down a little bit, and about 4 to 5 minutes aside. and it comes out usually medium rare, and it's just fantastic. You slice it up, and you can snack on it all week. You're welcome, Julio. I hope it helped you a little bit anyway. But anyway, so yeah, they're calling for a bunch of rain this week. So like I said, I tried to get. Oh, that's Robbie DeVore. Is it not? And Robbie had a Nova. I think that's Robbie DeVore. No, I meant rain, Chris. I'm still thinking I'm back home. Sean's got a couple of nice ones. That looks like a 67. Yeah, that's a 67 Camaro with the hideaway headlights. Looks like a 327 car. And that's like a 71 Chevy pickup. Man, that thing is pretty freaking clean if you got it up there. That's fantastic. God, I love them old trucks. Those things are so freaking nice. $150. Wow. For the Camaro or for the truck? I'm assuming the truck. $150? Man, he stole that. Absolutely stole it. Well, even $1,500 is cheap. For like a 71 Chevy short bed, man, those are next to impossible to find. That's a hell of a deal right there. I'd even go get that. Of course, my wife would shoot me because I'd come home with another project that she doesn't want me to have. Just the way it works when you're a car nut, you end up with projects. Hence why I've got those 3 Camaros sitting out in the backyard. But I'm gonna try to start working on them. Like I said, I got a transmission to build, so I got to go through. I've got a parts list of what I usually get. I need to go through and order whatever I don't, whatever he didn't have. I think the only thing I'm missing, a couple of small hard parts, but should be good other than that. But yeah, one of the guys at work asked me to build one for him. I've got one of the other 2 that I actually got 2 guys there that want me to build transmissions for him. So I told him I would if I can. But it's a funny story. So one of our customers is a big fleet company that we got up there, and they've got 1-ton dually cabin chassis, and they've put a big old flatbed on the back of it with a gooseneck hitch, and they've got this big old gooseneck trailer they put on the back, and he brings this new diesel into me. He says, "This thing's shifting between ninth and 10th gear. This is a new one. It's a 2020 with 10-speed transmission, so-called Allison," which they're not. They're a hydromatic transmission because it's the same transmission that Ford's using. So it's not an Allison. So he brings it into me. He says, "Yeah, when you're cruising down the road above 40, it's just between ninth and 10th gear." And I'm looking at this trailer he's got on the back of it, and unloaded with just the grappler hook that he's got on there's the thing weighs uh 14,000 pounds. It's a tandem axle dually trailer. Um, so I go drive this thing, and sure enough, when you go down the road above 40 mile an hour, the thing will go in and out of 10th, ninth, and 10th gear. And I look down, and of course, he's not driving it with the tow haul mode on. You put the tow haul mode on, all that quits, and it works just like it's supposed to. Not setting any lights or anything. I come back, I tell him, "Look, it's doing what it needs to do. You need to be using tow haul mode anytime you got that trailer on the back of it. It's heavy." I mean, you could feel it when you drive it. You can tell that there's some weight there. The truck doesn't have any trouble pulling it. Just the transmission don't like it, these new 10 speeds. He says, "Man, I hate these trucks. I wish I had my 18." I says, "I'd like my 18s a lot better." He says, "Yeah, it's a whole different transmission. That's a true Allison transmission. They're not designed to have to do any of that." Why don't they do that with the new ones? That's technology to meet fuel economy standards, which they really don't have any. But at any rate, crazy, 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 crazy. But yeah, we're supposed to be getting some rain this week. So I think the last time I seen the forecast, we're supposed to have rain every day next week. Yep. Well, I guess not all week, just Monday and Tuesday, and then Friday again. But here comes the 90s. Supposed to be 90 all week. Oh boy. Be nice and soupy. Right now, the humidity is 76% down here. Of course, it's getting ready to rain too, so, well, maybe not, but. Doc, I've caught bits and pieces of that, but there's rumors flying around that whole thing was kind of staged, um, which I hope it's not true because I mean that's ridiculous. Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Um, why did they stand down for an hour? That just doesn't make any sense to me. That's what I'm saying. To me, it just sounds like it was staged. Like it's another way to push gun legislation. Guess I shouldn't say that. Pew pew legislation. Um, because if you disarm law abiding citizens of their pew pews, it doesn't give them any way to protect themselves. So it's another way for elimination in my book. Um, the good news is there is a lot of people waking up to how bad this whole thing stinks. Um, oh yeah, that's exactly my point, Doc. Uh, there's a whole bunch of them in the White House right now. Whole bunch of them rats, and they're about the size of possums. About as ugly too. Yeah, Mike, I'm totally agree with you. It's important that people stand up for what they believe in, and these people that are wanting to get rid of guns because it would prevent prevent any more violent. No, it wouldn't. It absolutely would not. It wouldn't solve anything because you'd still have the people out there that may have a mental condition that don't know any better. Guns don't kill people. You can't say, "Hey, gun, go out and kill the neighbor." That gun's not gonna do a damn thing. It's gonna sit there on the floor and just sit motionless. It takes these and a mind that is not right to pull that trigger to kill another human being. So exactly. Find a piece of pipe or something like that or a two before, be a hacksaw Jim Duncan, just beat the crap out of somebody, but it's gonna happen one way or another. Chris, I was just talking with somebody else about the same thing. You know, they're talking about I was talking to my wife and we got to talking about school and stuff we went. We never had metal detectors, we never had any of that. We had Karen, the parking lot patroller that would bust you for smoking on the property, but other than that, she was a nice gal. I mean, she really wasn't that bad. Um, and we were just kids being kids. I mean, that's just the way it was. But we also didn't have social media to get in the middle of all this stuff. We didn't have cell phones. Um, Things were a lot different back when we went to school for sure. Yeah, we did have the smoking hole for sure. And that was about every bathroom in the high school. At least it wasn't at junior high. Doc, you'd have to know it was actually the smoking hole that yeah. Yeah, it was actually a place where everybody that smoked would go and choke one down in between classes. Well, yeah, we had parents in the home too, and that's a big thing too. And I was fortunate to be blessed with two fantastic parents that, um, of course, I lost my dad way before I really expected to lose him, and I miss him every day for sure. I miss being able to physically talk to him, and I worry about mom on a daily basis. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. I mean, the way I was raised is there wasn't time out. I mean, you got grounded, but if you screwed up bad enough, the belt come out and got an ass whooping. That's just how it is. Chris, yes, she is. She's still up there. Still lives in the same house that they bought back in '94. Yeah, dad's been gone. It's going to be 3 years. 3 years come November. It'll be that I lost dad. I do believe that's right. It may be 4 anyway, but Chris, I'm not going to tell you that on the deal, just kind of for privacy reasons, but I'll tell you here. There we go. No, it's no big deal, Chris. I get it. Doc, we have a serious problem with that, and we have the lack of faith and the way our Constitution and everything was founded on principles of God and faith and everything else, and it they're trying to get rid of that. Buster. And that's the biggest thing is they're trying to take the faith out of the equation. So 2016, Chris. We bought this place and signed papers on it November of 2016. I was still up there for let's see, I actually came down here about September of 2017 is when I came down. Wife had come down early. Well, she'd come down and I couldn't leave yet because I still had my business I was trying to sell. And that's another day. But yeah. And it's humid as crap down here. But there's no snow. There's no plowing driveways. You definitely don't mow as much. At least where we're at. A lot of the ground here is a lot of limestone. It has a lot of sugar sand on top of it. So where we're at, we've got a pretty kind of a sandy soil. But so grass doesn't grow a whole lot, which is fine. It saves on diesel anyway. Yeah, for sure, Mike. For sure. But yeah. I just keep praying every day that they're the people that are doing all the screwing us up is going to get what's coming to them. Bible says that the Lord never gives us more than we can handle, and He puts the challenges in front of us to test our faith and test our resolve. Um, all I can say is, if you're not paying attention, you need to start preparing for um, the next round of the BS that they're going to come up with, come right around election time. Um, because the way they figure it is, if they can figure out some way to cripple the country enough to where people won't get out and vote, then they'll be able to steal another election. Um, and I'll probably get banned off of it for saying that, but um, it's just, you got to spread it around to everybody. When it comes time, you got to get out. You got to get out and do your civil duty and vote. Don't rely on mail-in ballots, because that's be the number one way that they're going to figure out how to cheat. Um, it's that important. We need to take back the House and the Senate for sure. Um, the primaries haven't looked too bad lately, but I can tell you somebody that needs to go out of the White House pretty quick, and that's McConnell. He's just a flipping rhino. He may be a Republican, but he's a rhino for sure. He's turned around, and he's easily manipulated. Yep, for sure, Doc. Yeah, that's the biggest thing, though. Is I just hope that enough people will see it, where they'll come out and they'll say, "Hey, look, I understand that if you've got physical limitations and stuff, like I get it. But if it was me and I had physical limitations, by God, I'm sure that I'd figure out some way to get my butt out there and vote. I wouldn't want to do it mail in. Of course, I don't trust the digital ones either, but uh, the level of corruption that has come in this administration, and this has been going on since the abomination was in there. Um, we got a relief when the 45 was there for 4 years, which he should have been there for 8. Um, but just like they showed a poll today, I think it was today. It was last night. They were showing a poll between DeSantis running for president and Harris running for president. And for some stupid reason, they showed Harris above DeSantis, which that to me is not right. I mean, there is no flipping way that the people would be dumb enough to select her for running the country. She's worthless as tits on a boar hog. She hasn't done squat. She's worse than old Joe is. Chris, that's terrible too. Yeah, I do too, Mike. I remember that. Yeah, that's one thing he definitely did, Doc, is he put a spotlight on it. Yeah, I mean, that's a big issue. I mean, just people have to get out there and vote. I mean, you can't have 300 for 3,000 is what, 3%? That's that's terrible. What's up, Jonathan? How the heck are you? Ooh, I'm up to 9. Look out. Hey, if you haven't already, guys, help me out and I guess that would be 10%, wouldn't it? It's late at night. My math isn't doing that good. If you haven't already out there, if you're on here now, smash the thumbs up for me if you would. That'd be greatly appreciated. Corn Pop was bad, Jude. Bad dude. Mrs. Janinga. You remember her? God, I had her for. I think I had her for all three: geometry and algebra 1 and algebra 2. But you know, sometimes you don't use them at Schultz. There you go. Was it you that posted that the other day, Chris? That old George Hoover got an award and he was still around. I'm like, holy cow, that dude is like freaking older than a popcorn fart. I couldn't believe that. I was like, wow. I figured he'd pass by now. Who was the other one that was a popular gym coach? Was it DeVore? No, it wasn't DeVore. I can't think of that guy's name. He was always a big muscular dude. But Rabori, that's it. Dave Rabori. That now I could remember his first name now, so yeah. You can't be serious. That wasn't his name, was it? No way, Mike. There's no way that if you had somebody that with that name that anybody could keep a straight face. Oh Lord. Oh, that's bad. Oh goodness. Goodness. Hmm. Oh. So what do y'all got planned for Memorial Day? Anything good? I don't know that we're gonna do a bunch. My wife has to work. Um she works for the food service industry, so like, you know, they like never close. And she got elected to work Memorial Day. Chris, I'd love to get back up there and visit Dad's grave. He's buried up there off of B Highway. Um, I can't remember the name of it, but Yeah, I think that's it. It's a pretty grave site. Mom and dad both, in fact, Jennifer's up there too. Um, but we need to get up to, okay. Um, my grandpa is buried. Grandpa and grandma both are buried, um, over there off of, Highway 1, in Gladstone. So, but we really need to get up to Arlington, to visit my wife's, mother-in-law's grave site. We haven't been up there in a while. Julio, my mother-in-law passed away, believe it or not, on, uh, 9/11 of 2007. Um, so that day has a double whammy for us. Um, that's definitely a rough day. So it's easy to remember that day for sure, but it sucks nonetheless. I was out taking pictures of tried to take pictures of the accident site for to see if we were gonna pursue anything, and I got the call that from my wife says, "You need to get here as soon as you can." And I was like, "Okay." I hopped in the truck and foot was on the floor the whole way. I made it from a city called Lone Jack out on 50 highway to the hospital that was down off of 71. Uh, I think the fastest I'd ever got there for sure. Had the hazards on and flashing the lights the whole way there just so I could get there. And apparently, uh, mom-in-law had coded, and of course, my wife was tore up, which understandable. She had lost her dad back in that was before we met. I think it was 98. He was coming home from Thanksgiving, from what she told me, and I guess a drunk driver hit him or something like that. So, and I'm the only surviving child in my family, and I don't have any kids. So, other than these four-legged furry ones that you see all the way around us, one behind me on my right shoulder, one in the chair behind my left shoulder. I guess that would be my right shoulder, my left. Man, I'm with it tonight. And I got a dog to the right of me and on the floor. I think the other ones have gone back to the couch. But yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do for Memorial Day. I did buy some adult beverage stuff. I rarely drink, but I like a I like a pina colada now and then. I bought some strawberry daiquiri uh, stuff for the wife. That's for sure, Doc. And Chris, I do remember Pete Butler. He was one of the teachers, if I remember right, wasn't he? The name rings a bell, but I can't remember what he taught. I love pina coladas. I love coconut. Um, Coconut's always been one of my favorites. Those almond joys and mounds. Oh yeah, I could tear those up. Of course, I can't tear them up anymore because they just tear me up with my blood sugar. So yeah, yeah. I remembered. Seemed to me that Butler was a coach. Like I said, it's been so long, and I've lost track of a lot of what goes on in the school. I didn't catch that right at the first, Mike. So getting caught in the rain. Wow, I didn't know he was still in the school. My lord, Marty Jacobs. Whew. That's a name I hadn't heard in a while. Chris Liberty grew so fast that I couldn't keep up with, the new schools and stuff and everything north of it'd be north of 35 there, where A highway is and everything. That just blew up like nobody's business. And I guess all that stuff is all developed now, all the way down 291 heading towards the airport. It's uh it's absolutely crazy. I haven't even been out A highway and I don't know how long. My best friend, uh, Johnny, his parents, I think, still live out there off of A highway. I wouldn't be surprised, Chris, because I mean, it's growing so fast. Julio, you're not looking at your ground cable, you're looking at your TV cable, throttle valve cable. It's the piece connects to either the throttle body or carburetor, whatever you may have. You just need to make sure it's connected and adjusted properly for sure. Doc, mine still is my childhood house is still there, but the garage used to be in the basement. It was a split level. Um, the one of the owners, whoever it was before, they closed it off and then they built a detached garage. Stip was out my way. Oh yeah. Yeah, shoot, I can't think of her name either. It just cracks me up every time I run across that picture of us in 4th grade, Mrs. Decker's class. Just absolutely cracks me up. It cracks me up that, I'm Facebook friends with, um, Mrs. Spencer, 6th grade teacher. Um, just absolutely crazy. Yeah, Spencer. I'm friends with, Mickey Wilcox too, Chris. Um, that's crazy. She hasn't hardly changed a bit. I mean, Heather Conklin hasn't changed much. Well, she has, but she still has a lot of the same looks. Um, a lot of these, a lot of the gals that I remember haven't changed much. One of them, especially, that hasn't changed a bit is Michelle Corm, and of course, I think she's married or something like that. Yeah, I get it, Chris. Yeah, it's just the way we were raised. Yeah, Newsom tested positive. Chris, there's a lot to be said about that. Um, as we get older, uh, we a lot of the differences that we had growing up, uh, a lot of us have put aside, and that realize that hey, we're still human, we're still here. Just because you may not like me in high school doesn't mean that I don't have the same thoughts and realizations. Uh, I had got a I got a friend request from, of all people, Matt Strew, and he was not one of my favorite guys growing up. I always thought he was a pain in the butt. Eddie Edwards, who was a year ahead of me, he and I uh, uh, run across each other on Facebook quite a bit. He didn't like a lot of people, Chris. That was what bothered me. He wanted to fit. He had to fit in, but you got to realize that back then, well, anytime when you're that age, all you're trying to do is to fit in. You're trying to fit in with a certain crowd or something like that. And so I didn't exactly hang out with the right crowd when I grew up, but I think that made me better as a person, for who I am. So I'm good with it. It is a small world. It's a small world after all. I think it's kind of funny. The older I get, the farther my hair goes up my forehead. Hang on, I'm being beckoned. I shall return. Yes. In a few minutes, I'm still on the live stream. I'm on a live stream. So, yeah, I shouldn't be too much longer. All right. So, Chris, I try to do it every Saturday about the same time. It's 11:34 here, so it's probably 10:30 there. So, and yeah, I need to cut it short too. Mama needs a massage. She's a hurting unit, so I got to go get her taken care of. So, with that being said, I really appreciate you all coming out. I appreciate y'all coming on here and gabbing and just shooting the breeze. That's kind of what this is all about. So, um, y'all make sure to take care of yourself, take care of each other. God bless you, and God bless America. We'll see y'all later. Bye bye.